So I'm going to honor the staff by trying to follow the script for once in my life. Well, before I do that, I just want to thank all our sponsors that are here today. I'm not going to name everyone, but there's a guy that is being inducted into the Joe's Hall of Fame today, downtown, a guy named John Hall, who year after year has provided us with the terrific beer that we've been drinking at Blue Silent Brew Company. So John Hall couldn't be here. He sent me a text like we were teenagers, and he said, "Ken Perkins, congratulations, you know I'd be here if I could." So from John, he says, "Congratulations, Ken." So thank you, David. Many of you already know me. My name is Ric Estrada, and like Belia and some of the teachers here, I've been here since the beginning. I've seen the kindergartners and first graders firsthand grow into beautiful, mature, terrific young men and women, as you just saw. There is no doubt in my mind that they are being prepared really well for both high school and later on for college. Many of them will attend your alma maters, and you probably were wondering why they call themselves what they do. When they say go blue, we have classrooms named after Michigan, we have classrooms named after Morehouse, University of Chicago, Loyola, DePaul, U of I, USC, St. Mary's, and so on and so forth. All of our classrooms are named for a college, so they could aspire to greatness, they aspire to college completion, not just matriculation, but they could aspire to completion. That's one of Ken's many, many ideas that he's supported over the years. I also want to say thanks to a few other people. Selena Roldan, who's the executive director of Erie Neighborhood House over there. Selena and the entire Erie House team. Without Erie House, this school, quite frankly, would not exist. It is because of the Erie House and the great support of the school. There are a few other special people here. There have been multiple leaders here at Erie Neighborhood House. One of our principals, and I know she was going to leave to listen to that debate, Eleanor Nicholson, is she still in the room? Yeah, Eleanor, right there, yeah, thank you for joining us. Eleanor joined us during the time of need and helped the school transition into the tremendous terrific school that it is today. Thank you again, Eleanor, for all your great work. I want to thank Belia, who has become just an outstanding leader at the school and is the proud leader of the Eagles here at Erie Elementary Charter School. I could go on and on. Thank you, people. Alex Montgomery, Jesus Tirado, who is our new assistant principal, not so new anymore. Thank you for your leadership here, the entire faculty and staff. I'll thank the entire board. I won't name every single one of you by name, but Mary, who's our board president here, Cy Nelson, Mark and Melanie, who are all on our executive committee. I want to say special thanks to you because you do a lot of the heavy lifting on a day-to-day basis. Cy and Mary are helping us now to finance this great addition that we have on the side. So thank you, Cy and Mary, for all your tremendous work there. I hope that you had an opportunity to look at our pamphlet for today's event and you see the promise of the school and the terrific parent center and gymnasium that we're going to have next door, so that we build students that are not only great academically, but also great physically and socially, and they're prepared for college and beyond. Spent a lot of time, and without mentioning the man of the hour, so I'll begin now talking about Ken. It is fitting that this week is Ideas Week in Chicago. I'm not sure if you recognize, but there's a lot of yellow downtown, people walking around with yellow notebooks and yellow hats. And so we had an idea in 2003 or so, and the idea was one that we imagined a school, a public school in Humboldt Park, where all of the kids would be meeting state or national standards, where the parents saw themselves as partners in their children's education. And that the parents knew and were aware that without their active participation, we could not succeed. And the faculty that would climb mountains and cross deserts and swim across oceans and would do whatever it took for our children's success. Today we are there, largely because of that idea we had, an idea that Ken grabbed onto immediately and has been perhaps the single best ambassador and champion of the school. But, ideas are easy. Lots of people have ideas all the time. But Ken is a man of action, a man of commitment, and a man of conviction. Ken has been the catalyst and the inspiration for this tremendous little school. The great Arthur Ashe, a trailblazing African-American athlete and civil rights leader, lived by the following model. It's a pretty simple one. He said, he lived by this model. He said, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. So the story of this little school is that we started where we were. We were at the Erie Neighborhood House. It's a pillar of this West Town community. And Ken was instrumental in motivating Erie's board of directors to use their talent to build this tremendous school. He also said, use what you have. Ken will always say very modestly that he's not an educator. He says, I'm not an educator, so I don't know what I'm doing here, so help me out. And for those of you involved in the school, he says that all the time. But the reality is that he has great wisdom and knowledge, and this school has benefited tremendously, and the school community as a whole has benefited tremendously because of that. He used his family as well. The great Ken Perkins, his anchor and partner in life. He's used her really well to help him. Ken, as we all know, is a tremendous guy, but without Viola, I'm not sure. So Viola thanks you as well. He's involved his children, both his sons and his daughters, whether attending these events or raising money for the school. He's always involved them. Certainly his brothers have been instrumental in supporting the school as well. And Bill Perkins, his nephew, has provided us with great wisdom from the very beginning of the school and has made a tremendous impact on these children that we are educating today. And Ken, in addition, he did what he could. Not being an educator, he contributed great expertise in the areas of insurance, budgeting, mentoring a lot of us who didn't know what we were doing, editing our work when it wasn't at its best, project management, just to name a few. I'll end by sharing a story that many of you know pretty well. Ken cares so much about the school that he wants everything to be just right. He wants everything to be perfect. I remember the day before we opened the school, after all the staff and the volunteers and everybody was gone, Ken was still scraping paint and gum off the stairs of the old building. And he wanted to do that because he knew that the families needed to have what is best, and he wanted them to be proud of the new school. He did more than anyone for the school then, and he continues to do more than anyone today. Ken reminds us that we can all make a difference if we start where we are, use what we have, and do what we can. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of David Kinnear, his wife Andrea, myself as co-chairs, and the entire Erie community, I want to call up and my good friend, Ken Perkins. Ken.
Not having had all that much experience cleaning steps and so forth, as Viola would say, I did that because Ric was doing it with me. I thank Ric and David and everyone here for this fine honor, and particularly thank our board and our faculty, and a special thanks to Cesar Salgado, our resident poet, and Cesar in the program really went over the top, and Cesar, my face is red. And also Cesar, I think your wife, Mara Lees, the wonderful teacher who was here just before us, I think she outdid Cesar. particularly pleased that I was given the honor by Ric Estrada because 9 years ago, it was Ric that came up with a vision to have a charter school. He was the executive director of Erie Neighborhood House at the time, and he told the board that he had this vision, and I got excited because I knew just a little bit about charter schools, and we knew that the charter school model gave a marvelous opportunity to create a school of our choice as far as culture, doing that, as you heard before, by selecting your own principal, your own faculty, own curricula, own budget, and governing structure. We've done that, and here we are with 415 students who are here by choice with a waiting list, and some of them coming from distant parts of the city. That's the only stipulation. You have to be within the city limits. Now here they are, the 8th grade class that we're honoring. They are here, as you've seen, having taken advantage of what we offer them. I remember when they were all first graders, they were in the 2 classrooms named University of Illinois in Chicago and Loyola University. We were trying to create the college aspirations from the very beginning. When I came in early this evening, I was given a script, much to my surprise. I'm not going to, I don't want to muddle my mind with the thoughts I had with the script, so we'll go from there. Ric, it's such a pleasure to receive this from you because we have been co-workers at the school for 9 years, and you've become such a very good friend with your family and ours. Appreciate it so much. Just a word about our principals, spelled P-A-L-S. You've heard some of this before, but I think it's so important. Our fine founding principal, Linda Ponce de Leon, chose among her first 4 classroom teachers, Velia Soto, who is now the outstanding principal you have just seen. Helping Velia prepare was Eleanor Nicholson, who maybe is no longer here because the debate calls. But yes, she is.
This is more important.
Ric and I one early morning over breakfast at Milk and Honey on Division Street induced Eleanor to come out of retirement and be our interim principal for 2 years. She has had a remarkable lifetime career of educating here in the city and other parts of the world. So here we are with the 8th graders, and our assistant principal, Jesus Torada, is working overtime with others, trying to help the 8th graders navigate the application forms and so forth, to get them in to the best selective public and private schools and high-performing charter schools, because this is the ultimate. These principals that I mentioned have assembled a faculty that is so good and proven by the fact that we have these high attendance rates, high parental satisfaction, and high standardized test scores, and they have created a real culture of learning. I think that most all of you are here probably because you believe in what we're doing. And I think that supporting a venture like this, because most of you also know that charter schools in Chicago are funded significantly less than the traditional schools in Chicago. So we so appreciate your support, which with the stress of city and state is tougher than ever, and it doesn't show a great deal of promise of getting better soon. And we're so thankful for those that have supported us from the very beginning, and we're so happy that we have new guests here that are learning about Erie Elementary Charter School for the first time. Finally, I can't tell you how much well, my wife Leola can tell you how much I enjoy working here with people who are so devoted and a lot of fun to be with. Thank you all for being here. Come visit us next year when we can see the addition, and enjoy the rest of the evening.